So I have a little bit of a secret. Well, kind of. A few weeks ago, I was honored to be on the How to Film Weddings podcast. And on that podcast episode, me and John talked about 4 ways that you can become a better wedding filmmaker. And at the end of that conversation, I revealed that I was going to be releasing my first ever workshop, all about how I became the filmmaker I am today through my experience, through my challenges, the obstacles. A super vulnerable workshop that just dives deeper into my experience on becoming a better filmmaker. So in this video today, I'm going to share a part of my journey with you guys, taking a little bit from the workshop in of itself to give you a sneak peek inside to let you know how much value really is jam-packed in this thing. And the best part about this workshop, it is 100% free. It's going to be releasing next Monday on February 26th, and I'm going to be releasing it live on this YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Imagine a world where you didn't have to be stuck behind a computer screen for 8 to 9 hours in a day. You can get time back in your business to do things that truly bring you joy and stop stressing over the edit. Our good friends over at Uncut Gems have the perfect solution for you. With their high-quality video editing service, you can save time and kick backlog in the face, and right now, they are offering 65% off on your first order. So head over to Uncut Gems and use code Wayward65 so that you can give yourself some rest and be recharged and ready to go for the next wedding season. So the year is 2018, I was a full-time wedding filmmaker. I went all in. I quit my day job the year prior. I had booked some mentorship calls to help me get structure. I locked in a year on the Wedding Pro advertisement sites, the wedding pages as you call them. And in 2017, I booked over 42 weddings. And some of you might look at that and say, wow, that's really good. You were really successful. But I look at that year and all I see is dysfunction. I was now 4 years past the young filmmaker who had filmed and photographed his first wedding. I was now running a business and had a huge responsibility in front of me. And while on the outside it might have looked like things were going smoothly, I was honestly an absolute wreck on the inside. Maybe it was because I was growing too fast, I was putting too much on my plate, desperate to remain unchained by conformity. I was working every other weekend, oftentimes multiple events in one weekend. My turnaround time was 5 to 6 weeks. That is no joke. And with 42 weddings, that is a lot. I was editing my life away. I had zero social life, crippling anxiety, and worst of all, I was severely depressed. But how could this be though? How could I go from the guy that was so fired up, editing until 3 a.m. from the same night of his first wedding, to the guy that was starting to resent weddings altogether and wanting to walk away from the industry? The short answer is I had the wrong mindset. I was misguided by selfish ambition, corrupted by profit, and became hell-bent on gaining popularity as an industry leader. I was exhausted, I was drained, and some may think, yes, 42 weddings is enough to make anybody exhausted. The unrealistic delivery times, being a workaholic, and all those things, while there is definitely a lot of truth to that, the main reason was because I really had developed the wrong mindset about what I was doing. I was focused solely on profit, selfish desire, praise, and attention, and I was filming weddings to serve myself. You see, somewhere along the road of creating for other people, I landed on the path of glory of self. I no longer cared about creating films that my couples loved. I wanted to impress other filmmakers, industry leaders. I wanted to impress my mentors with my work. I wanted my work to be noticed way more than I wanted to make my couples happy, which was 100% the wrong mindset. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this was making me miserable. And that's when I sought guidance from my first teacher, my first mentor, good old mom. And what she told me completely shifted my entire thought process, how I even viewed wedding filmmaking, how I even viewed my life. I remember telling her how unhappy I was and that I wanted to quit. I was so unfulfilled. I was actually at a wedding when I told her this. I had stepped outside to make a phone call because I was just having so much anxiety. And so I called her at this wedding and she just said one word to me: joy. Now, what I didn't realize is that she was actually giving me the formula to life with just this one word, and the values that encompasses my brand and my life every single day. Joy is an acronym for Jesus, others, and yourself. And even if you aren't a Christian, I truly believe that this one word, these principles, can massively impact and transform your life and your business. Because the act of putting others before yourself is the recipe to becoming a better filmmaker. And going back to the conversation with my mom, she told me that I was unhappy and unfulfilled because I was so hyper-focused on serving myself rather than truly serving others. And I'll be honest, this was a hard pill to swallow, but she was right. Everything that I was building was for the wrong reasons. I'd become a steward of self rather than a servant to others. Think about how you feel or have felt when you finished a wedding film and you send it off to the client. They come back with a glowing 5 out of 5 star review of how much they adored you, how much they adored what you created, how it made them feel, and that they're gonna treasure this gift forever. It feels amazing to hear those words, and that alone tells us that the work that we're doing is making a positive impact for someone else. And by serving other people, this is gonna lead to true joy and fulfillment. And honestly, I had forgotten this. I had forgotten what it felt like after my first wedding, that sense of purpose, that sense of fulfillment, and that sense of joy. I was so wrapped up in myself. I was so confused and corrupted by all of these other things that didn't have any weight or true meaning in my life. And I knew that I needed a way out of this mindset if I wanted to succeed in my business, if I wanted to stay away from a 9 to 5, desperately not wanting to go back to that place that I so longed a way out. So the way out of this mindset was to come to the end of myself, to understand that wedding filmmaking should not be a selfish pursuit, but to serve others reverently and passionately for their benefit. Because the irony is, by focusing on other people, your mind is free from corruption, it's free from the noise, the discontent, and you get to create more genuine and honest films. You let your couple be the hero of the story versus yourself, and through practice, repetition, and consistency, and through serving with that reverence, as a byproduct, your work will get better and it will get noticed. And honestly, the funny thing is when it does get noticed, it honestly won't even faze you because you realize that the true purpose to create wedding films is in service of family and the people in them. It's not for everyone else. Because here's the truth. Wedding filmmaking is not about you. And I had the biggest ego when I first started because of all the money that was coming in the door, all the weddings I was booking. I just thought that I was just this hotshot, and it really developed an incredibly disappointing mindset in my life and the person that I was becoming. I didn't want that. I knew that that wasn't at the heart of who I was and the kind of filmmaker that I wanted to be. And when I faced and accepted that simple and painful fact and put others before myself, that's when everything started to change for me and my business. My films got better, I was booking more fulfilling weddings, couples started to value me more and my work, I was able to charge more for my work because of that. I was happier, I was so much happier, and the biggest change was I found identity as a filmmaker. I found identity in this vast sea of creators. But the simple fact of this story is I got lost, and I needed to be found. And I'll be honest, I'm sure it will continue to happen throughout my life because I'm not perfect, I don't have all the answers, I don't have it all figured out. In fact, I'm always figuring things out as I go. But when it comes to becoming a better wedding filmmaker, developing the right mindset is pivotal if you want to create films that inspire, fulfill, and impress the people that matter most. Keep the JOY acronym at the forefront of your life and in everything you do. Being the best servant to others. And this is one of the only reasons that I can look back and see why I've had longevity in this industry for the last decade of filming weddings, it's really the only thing that makes sense of why I'm still doing this. Thank you so much for checking out this sneak peek from my workshop that's launching on Monday. I hope you guys found this helpful and valuable in some way. If you did, it would mean so much if you consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, keep creating and telling beautiful stories. Peace.